Welcome to today's tutorial, guys. We are going to take a look at VLANs and trunks, especially for beginners that don't have a lot of knowledge of what this is. As you can see on the screen, I'm on Packet Tracer and I have one switch and two clients with the address of 192.168.100.2 and 100.3. The switch essentially creates a local area network between the two hosts, which will connect individually to the switch. So let's go ahead and connect the two hosts to the switch. In the bottom left corner, we can see the connection tab, and we'll go for the copper straight through, connect host A to fast Ethernet 0, onto the switch on fast Ethernet 01, and we'll do the same for host B. Fast Ethernet 0, and we'll go for the next port being Fast Ethernet 02. If we click on host A, brings up this tab. We can go to IP configuration, static, and we can enter the IP address being 192.168.100.2 on our /24 network, and we'll leave the default gateway for now, and that wraps up the section here. With the IP configuration now done on host A, I have replicated the same on host B with the change of IP address. So now that they are both locally connected via the switch, we can go on host A here, go onto command prompt, and ping our host B, which is 192.168.100.3 because we're number 2. So we'll hit enter, and you can see the echo request coming back successfully. These two hosts are allowed to communicate because they share the same network address space, so they are both within that /24 being 192.168.100.0 all the way through to 100.255. So if I were to connect another host, say host C, with an address that's free within that range, it will also be able to communicate to host A and host B. By default, Cisco switches have all of the ports within VLAN 1, so I haven't configured anything on the switch, and if we just hover over it, you can see that all of the ports from fast Ethernet 01 all the way down to 24 and including the gigabit Ethernet ports are in VLAN 1. Just to verify that, I will bring up the switch. We are in enable mode, and we can do the command show VLAN, which brings up the following output. So we have VLAN 1, the name is default, and you can see the status being active, and as I said earlier, all of our available ports are within this default VLAN. You can also see that by default on the switch, so upon booting, we also have VLANs 1002, 1003, 1004, and 1005, and their names on the side there. What we can do now is create some VLANs. So we'll go from the switch here, configure T, well, let's go for VLAN 100, and all of the available commands are there in the question mark. So we can go for a name, and let's call this engineers, and we can exit and create another one. Let's go for VLAN 200, and we'll go for name, and we can call this the manager. And we'll hit end. Now that we've created two VLANs, we can issue the command again. So we'll do show VLAN and hit space. And as you can see there, so previously we only had VLAN 1 and the 1000 range there. We now have VLAN 100 called engineers, VLAN 200 for the manager, and they are active, but they are not assigned to any interfaces just yet. Now that we have defined both VLANs, we can go ahead and assign them to an interface. So we'll go to configure terminal, and we'll go interface fast Ethernet 01, and let's place host A within the engineer VLAN. So we know the engineer VLAN that we created is in VLAN 100. So we'll go to switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 100, because that is our engineer VLAN. And previously you could see the switch port mode access command, which is for clients. So every time you have a client, so an end device off of your switch, it is most likely going to be in switch port mode access, and the other one being switch port mode trunk, which we will touch upon later. And back still on the switch, if we do a show run, which shows us our running configuration, we can see straight away that interface fast Ethernet 01 is in switch port access VLAN 100 and is part of the switch port mode access as it is a client. And again, if I issue the command show VLAN, we can see that the VLAN 100 for engineers now has an active port being fast Ethernet 01. With the VLAN configuration now in place, we will see that host A and host B, even though they reside within the same network space, as I said at the beginning of the video, now host B is in VLAN 1. As you can see, we have fast Ethernet 02, and we can see it there, with it being in VLAN 1, and VLAN 100 being inside of fast Ethernet 01, you will see that they won't be able to communicate. I'll go ahead and click on host A. So as you can see before, we have the echo reply and the time to live coming back successfully. We will go for the same command again. And as you can see, the ping is unsuccessful. And what we'll get is just a request timeout 4 times. A really good practice to get into that I fully recommend is assigning VLANs as per your IP address space if you can control it. So we can see the VLAN 100 is this one here, so in fast Ethernet 01, and it's in our 100 range there. So what we can do is say this is the manager, host B. We can put that inside of VLAN 200, and if we just click on that, we can make it into 200 there, so you know exactly what you're troubleshooting and you don't have to keep cross-referencing your VLAN table. And for completeness, I'll just go ahead and issue the command that will put fast Ethernet 02 into VLAN 200, which is our manager VLAN. So if you guys remember, we'll go to switch port, not switch port just yet, we'll go interface, fast Ethernet 02, and here is where you issue switch port mode access, and then you enter the VLAN, so switch port access VLAN 200, and we'll go for an end. And if we hit show VLAN, we can see there we have fast Ethernet 01 in our 100 range, and the 200 being fast Ethernet 02, which you'll see there. And finally, don't forget to change the IP address of the host, so we'll click on host B, go to IP configuration, and now that we've changed it to 200, we can just do that. On Packet Tracer, what we can do is click the Note tab here and say that this was our VLAN 100. We'll just leave it there, and we'll create a similar one at the bottom here for VLAN 200, just a nice design choice from Cisco.